Keith Bowes coming to us live from the Glasgow area on April 25th, 2020. Thanks a lot, Keith, for taking the time.
No problems, Andrew, no problems.
Yeah, so we thought we'd check in with you. First of all, how are things going for you and the band?
Yeah, fine. Same as everybody else, I suppose. Kind of unusual times. So, yeah, we're just kind of embracing it as much as we can do. Obviously, it's a bit of a shock to the system. Everybody's trying to develop new ways of working, and most people are working from home. So, I suppose it's just striking a balance between, doing a bit more fitness than normal. Keeping in with the bands, and at Johnstone we've got our grade 3 band and our grade 1, and then I'm also in charge of the Renfrewshire Schools bands, so we've got lots and lots of members to kind of sign in with and make sure everybody's doing okay, make sure everybody's still doing some practice and things like that. So I suppose it's just everybody managing to strike a balance at the moment and trying to adjust to the situation.
Yeah, it's, for those who might not know a lot about Johnstone, obviously we know that you're a grade 1 band, but the success story, kind of a model of teaching and, bringing kids up through the ranks and sticking to it. Have you been doing a lot of online teaching before this, connecting online with the kids?
Up till now, no, it's been all mostly traditional methods. But Johnstone's had a kind of teaching program since 2001 or around that sort of time. So before that, my dad's been pipe major of Johnstone Pipe Band since 1994. So I was just a young boy going to the practices, and throughout that time there was always a kind of grade 3, grade 4, back to 3, back to 4. So it was in the early 2000s that my dad really started some sort of teaching program, and that's grown with in success as time's gone on. And it's produced quite a lot of good players. There's sort of a couple of players in each kind of local pipe band, and in fact across the world. There's one in St Lawrence at Toole, and before, and that was certainly before we had a grade 1 band. So when it's had some good success, but up till recent years we weren't always managing to keep hold of our own products of the teaching system. So we're now able to on the large keep hold of our good talent that's coming through. But up till now it's really only been traditional methods, but something that we've done for a long time.
Yeah. Now with such a young band, have you found it challenging trying to keep the young players kind of interested over this kind of shutdown time? Or has it been the opposite?
Probably the opposite, but I suppose with young people we have the full range of those that want to sit in front of their computers to those that are obsessed with our pipes. So we definitely see the full spectrum of that. Mm-hmm. But I definitely think that it's possibly a time where music is now starting to be appreciated a lot more. Certainly on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. when the videos come streaming in of all the pupils out playing in their streets and their front doors. That's really cool. That's to see the response that they're getting, and the young people are really just taking a lot from that, I think. And at least that way I know that they're playing their bagpipes as well. So we're kind of achieving a couple of things there. And I'm certainly proud of them seeing what they do. We have a couple of NHS workers in the Johnstone band, so it really does hit home just how important playing an instrument is. And I think a lot of them are definitely embracing it and playing their part. Some of our youngest pupils have been going around the care homes and playing in the kind of the car parks there and stuff. So a lot of them are really contributing to society in a positive way.
Wow, that's great. It sounds like it's kind of a silver lining around this whole situation, that you're discovering, what your members of the bands are capable of and interested in, and their commitment.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's quite hit me yet. Quite the devastation of no competitions this year, and we're kind of having to do different things already. We've had to cancel a race night for the band. We've got our own pipe band hall in Johnstone, so that acts as a kind of a hub for a lot of people. So we've had a race night cancelled, a ceilidh cancelled. So we're now having to make sure that we socialise only online.
Yeah.
So our school's pipe bands are using Microsoft Teams. And to be honest, it's not something that I've ever used up until just 3 or 4 weeks ago, but it's really quite good. It's a platform that I'm allowed to share resources, music books online, and there's different quizzes and things like that. Because as a council, we are limited. We're not allowed to do live videos as such as yet. So that we've got that challenge ahead of us. So a lot of it's sending in audio files through Microsoft Teams, and try to engage with the young people through that. But it's certainly challenging, but it is good. You know, I've started a YouTube channel mostly for our beginners, because it's a worrying time for, you know, young people that were maybe 8, 9, 10 years of age, and you know, they've maybe only been doing it for 4, 5, 6 months, and they're now starting to get somewhere, and now they're not getting regular contact. So it's a bit of a worry for me. So I seen this opportunity and a bit of time in my hands to do this YouTube channel, and it's covering all the sort of basics. And I think possibly I'll gain the benefits of that when I go back to school, whenever that may be. That there's still that continuation from week to week, so that you know, day one pupils have got that access to recapping stuff that we've already covered. So I think that's been one of the positives of kind of lockdown for myself, is I've got a wee bit of time to do bits and pieces that I would normally not have the time to do, because as I say, we've got 4 pipe bands. I'm pipe major of 2 of those. My dad is pipe major of 1, and we have Caitlin McDonald in the Renfrewshire schools, and we have other helpers. But we're out teaching at the band hall 3, 4, 5 nights a week. So, some weeks, certainly in the summer months, we're at the band hall just about every night of the week. So I'm enjoying a bit of the downtime to do things like the online tutorial videos.
And you talked about the competitions aspect of it and not having competitions. What about that? Do you think it's a time to kind of pull back a little bit from the focus entirely on competition, and maybe take a different kind of perspective on the music, on the band, on the community aspect of the group?
I'm certainly one of those people that kind of relies on competition to motivate myself. And I think most pipers are unfortunately like that, and drummers, that we need something to motivate ourselves. So it's definitely different. Yeah, it's different. I enjoy the competitive aspect of doing it, but again, it's not for everyone. But it definitely does, you know, motivate you to get the pipes out, certainly, and to improve your performance. And yeah. I think we'll miss that. We had a brand new medley for the Grade 1 pipe band, and all, in fact, all bands had a new medley. So there was lots of new music that we're disappointed not to get out to play this year. And I think when the summer hits and we're at home realising we should have been at the different kind of the major competitions, it'll really hit home just how much we're missing things. It really is a massive part of your life.
Yeah.
And yeah, sometimes we moan about going out every night of the week, and in the dark nights, the cold nights. But in the summer months, definitely, I'm going to miss it for sure. So we're going to have to think of different activities to keep ourselves occupied, and just hope that next year returns to normal.
Yeah, and maybe you know, look forward to coming back stronger and more excited and more appreciative maybe than ever.
Well, I'm seeing this time we've got a feeder system, so I'm desperate to make that work. I think it's possibly been the catalyst for our success so far, moving up the grades. My dad handed over the band after they won the Worlds in Grade 3A in 2014, and we managed to go on a good run, winning the Worlds twice in Grade 2 in 2015 and 16. And at that same time, we established a second band who won the Worlds in grade 4B in 2016, I think it was. So to win the Worlds on the same day was awesome for our organisation. And then the following year, 2017, we started the Renfrewshire Schools Pipe Band. So it's just kept growing and growing. And then this year we were to debut a second Renfrewshire Schools Pipe Band. So in Renfrewshire, certainly we're doing quite well with numbers and talent. Yeah, it's all good in Renfrewshire at the moment, certainly. But
yeah,
as I say, we want to make the feeder system work, and that's only going to happen if we give young people a chance. So we've got a good group of 16, 17, 18-year-olds, and certainly they've been practicing with us all winter. Whether they definitely made it this summer was, we were just about to find out whether we felt that they could make that jump. So they've got an extra year to kind of mature into their instrument and to build up and standard. But I suppose, again, that's a full year of not competing, but we're all going to be in the exact same boat. So I'm seeing it as we do lots of one-to-ones. My pipe sergeant in particular, Dougie Campbell, does lots and lots of one-to-ones. And he brings on players. I go for a one-to-one in order for us to make sure that we're in the exact same style, so that if we're working with the band and we're singing roughly from the same hymn sheet. So we do lots of development work with our players. So I'm hoping that we can do a good bit of that throughout the next few months to develop the next talent, to make sure that we've got a group of young talented pipers in the grade 1 band for a lot of years.
Nice. So a lot of bands out there, every band pretty much, in the competing pipe band world are in the same situation. Maybe look to a group like Johnstone, as an example of keeping it all together. What kind of advice would you have to other pipe majors, lead drummers, and band members out there during this time?
I certainly don't have all the answers. I'm trying to develop and work that out as I go. I've definitely given the grade 1 players a bit more freedom and space to try and relax, because, as I say, for the 5 years that I've had the band, it's been quite intense, and that's been driven mostly by competition. So I'm trying to give them a bit of breathing space and make sure, I'm hoping that they want to come back recharged and motivated to go again. That might work out. I've got everything crossed that it does. And obviously that, as we go down the grades and the younger the members get, the more I'm asking and putting pressure on them to learn new material, to brush up on their theory skills, and to get their stamina levels still at a decent level throughout this time. So it's about taking a different approach to different members, and encouraging them where possible just to do what they can, and just to strike a balance again between their family life, their work life, making sure that they're fit and healthy, looking after themselves, and using perhaps their instruments as some sort of escape for the times that we live in. So it's not easy, but we'll work it out as we go.
Yeah, putting things in perspective and appreciating, it sounds like, what you have in piping and drumming.
Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot, Keith Bowes, pipe major of Johnstone, and leader of that really successful organization. It's been great talking to you, and stay healthy, and look forward to seeing you in the future.
Thanks very much, Andrew. All the best.